Hello, welcome to the very last podcast, or Rabell Realty Group podcast of 2020, the worst year in record. But also close. The best year because we started this podcast. I'm Kristen Rebecca.
I'm Rebecca Johnson.
And here we are, again, the last Monday of the year. Thank goodness.
I'm so glad the year is almost over.
How was your Christmas?
It was fine. We were at the beach. It was exciting to go and celebrate all 4 seasons of Florida.
All in one,
all in
3
one
days.
day.
Yeah, one
actually.
day. Actually,
there was yesterday, Sunday, was actually almost like all 4 in one day because by the end of the day, it was about 70.
Yeah. I mean, today, here I am in a tank top after I had to scramble for warm clothes because Mason grew out of all of them, and we didn't think to buy any for Christmas because it's rare that it's cold for Christmas.
I feel like every year I'm caught off guard by winter.
It's either too hot or, well, I don't know. I don't feel like we've had a cold one in a long time.
No, I think they said this was the record, the coldest winter or coldest Christmas or whatever we've had in 2 decades.
Yeah, my mom said she remembered like in the 60s growing up, and that was winter. And I remember in Christmas growing up, I would be riding my bike around in my shorts and like tennis shoes.
Yeah,
so,
I don't remember it being super cold. I prefer it to be about, in the 70s.
I age myself, but in the 80s it did snow one time. So that might have been those 2 decades ago. But that's the only time I remember. So it was actually kind of nice. I wish we would have gone up to North Carolina because
everybody got snow.
All the pictures I've been seeing, everyone's there now. It's still snowing.
Anytime I spend Christmas in North Carolina, we get nothing.
I know. That was
just
2 years ago.
Just cold, bone-chilling weather.
Right.
So it was nice. We enjoyed the beach. It was a little too cold to sit out and do anything. But Thomas got an RC racer thing that runs on the beach, and it was great to chase the dogs. So what'd you guys do? Did you have a good Christmas?
We stayed home, and it was actually the calmest, least dramatic Christmas I've ever had. And if anyone knows my family, we're very dramatic, so that's saying a lot. It was really nice. We got to chill out and not have to be rushed anywhere, so I think that was the best part of it. But my best friend, Holly, bought Mason a drum set, so...
Nice call, Holly.
Fun year this year, and he's already just slamming hitting it and making lots of noise. So the cats and dogs are all freaked out, and I'm just in the other room just thanking Holly every day for her wonderful gifts she bestows upon us.
I saw somebody else got their 4-year-old one, and I'm like, ooh.
I do know a percussionist that could probably help with learning the drums.
It's kind of like giving a kid a recorder, though.
Right.
I was real mad when the school sent recorders home a couple years ago, and I'm like, why would you do that?
We didn't get those this year, but was that for 4th grade?
I think it was.
Yeah, we didn't have to this year.
We were all like, I don't know what you're thinking. Nobody here wants to hear the sound of a recorder, which is probably one of 3 most annoying instruments on the planet.
Yes.
Sorry, drums and piccolo, you rank as 1 and 2. So, anyways.
Depending on the drummer. Piccolo, yes, always annoying. Way too high.
Should we talk about the Monday market?
Yeah, let's go into our Monday market.
Oh.
All right, so you're going to give us the last week.
This is the last week, and then next week we will look at 2019 versus 2020.
There we go, right.
I did say that wrong, but then corrected it in my head as I was thinking about what I was going to say next. All right, so far in December, we still have 178 active listings. Those are listings that have come on since the beginning of December and are still here as of the 28th of December. For pending sales, there's been 325 listings. That's phenomenal, especially if you think about the fact that you have Hanukkah and Christmas and all the other holiday events that happen through the year that people are distracted by. And then in closed sales, 345 closed sales.
All in December.
Just December.
I cannot wait to see next year's numbers compared to this year. I would love to see this December, 2019 versus December 2020.
We're going to look at all of that next week. We'll spend a little time.
A little bit more time with this Monday market.
So that we could see what's happening. I almost pulled all the numbers and compared them, but I know this week there will be a mad rush of closings.
And I know a lot of people pended or closed, and they'll go through all of their records and then close out everything. Sometimes real estate companies forget to close things out, close properties out, so we'll make sure that's closed out or taken out of the MLS.
It's us. We're real estate companies.
The best, right? So we'll find out all those numbers, and I think the comparison numbers will be really interesting. I think there'll be some shocking things, like really the market isn't that different in terms of lack of inventory and sales. But at the same time, it'll probably, if you looked at it month to month, it'll probably be very different.
We're going to look at it month to month. We're going to look at it year to year.
Yeah,
we're going to look all the way back. We're going to pull our crystal 8-ball out, or magic 8-ball out, and see what's going to happen in the future. It's going to be exciting. You're not going to want to miss it. Yeah. But if you're thinking about selling your home, you can always reach out to us and at the website, and I'm sure our phone number, which is, I don't know, you can just call me, 352-275-9900. Yep. I don't know the phone number very well. Not good. I grew up in the 80s. I used to.
You can also email at info@buysellrebell.com.
And we'll talk to you about
Rabell is Rabell, 2 L's, double L's.
You remember back in the 90s when we had to memorize everybody's phone number? I knew like 30 phone numbers.
I still know those numbers, but I don't know anyone else's numbers from there on out.
My mom.
And the reason why we don't know the numbers is because we changed the numbers to get to us versus like our separate phone numbers and then the
yeah, we share a phone number and we have our own separate phone number. So let's not be confusing at all.
And then property management.
He said it doesn't take the fun out of it.
The fun out of what? You have a blast with that drum.
I know. Oh, kids. So, yesterday was a big date for Rabell Realty Group.
Yes, it was. It was our 5-year anniversary. It feels like 20 years.
I know.
But it
feels like a lifetime.
5, yes. 5 years ago yesterday, we opened Rabell Realty Group in Hale Plantation on the cutest corner in Hale, I might add.
It's still the cutest, for
sure.
sure.
It still is. So, we can tell some stories. There's the kiddos. We used to market with them all the time. Now they're grown up or growing up and don't love it.
They don't like it.
Those are our light up flyers outside of our office, which are super cool.
Yeah, I think that's right when we had them in. Look how little they all are.
I know, so cute. And there were only 3.
I know. I know. Oh, yeah, now there's 4. And one's going to be a moody teenager. She is moody. She's almost a teenager.
And you could see construction in the background.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we did pretty much rip everything out. We had some other pictures that we just couldn't find because, 5 years back of pictures. But this was, and still is, our very first table. It was handmade, actually up in Michigan, by a company out of High Springs. And it was their family company. They've since moved. But it's all wood. There's no metal on it, no steel, nothing. It's all wood. And that thing is like...
It's got to be 600 pounds.
12
It's a 5.5 by 10 foot table, all one solid piece. And there is a picture of us carrying it through the door.
Yes. I think there
squatted
were 8
down.
people helping, getting us through that. So that was a tough table to bring in, but it's beautiful. And we have, I think, 4 pieces from that company.
Yep, they made all the furniture at Rabell Realty Group in terms of tables and like our front desk area and all that. And they just did a great job.
There's Alyssa with one of her buyers. She just sold. So we have all this great marketing materials like just sold signs, just listed signs. We have Wizards Welcome because we're Harry Potter fans. What are some other signs that we have that you can think of?
Anything you can dream up,
Anything
moved out of my mom's basement, or perfect home for your dog, all those types of things.
Free tacos with purchase.
Oh yeah, that one was really popular. And that's great. I love that and don't mind it because it supports local businesses. When I've had one person that was like, yeah, I want the free tacos. And so I actually ended up getting them gift cards to the Southwest Food Park so that they could patron the businesses down there, which is great.
Them.
Yeah, don't patronize them, just patron them. But yeah, so we've had some fun over the years. We've done golf tournaments and added realtors. This was
our Christmas party a couple years ago on the rooftop at the social. So this year we didn't have one. Last year it was at our house.
That was in a conference an FAR conference, not concert.
I think that was that was the Orlando one.
Yeah.
Usually FAR which is the Florida Association for Realtors, is in, all the time it's in Orlando. Although that could have been the NAR one because there was a National Association for Realtors convention in Orlando. But that's usually spread out. in different
Yeah,
cities.
we haven't got to travel this year that much,
No, it
but
was
yeah,
on
we've had a lot of good things happen through the years. Darn, I was hoping we had the ribbon cutting one. My favorite picture of all time is when the kids cut the ribbon. Because they cut it too early. We have it hanging in the office because we had
all the shocked faces.
Yes,
that was fun.
Because the chamber said, when I say 3, you cut it. And so we're all standing there, and the kids are like squirming around. They're little.
Just cut it.
And she said 1. It got cut. I don't know who took the picture, but it's one of my favorite pictures that we have. So we'll have to post that for you because I was hoping that made it in.
But here's, we've been very involved with community. Obviously this year, not so much. You can't really show up to things, but guest chef. So that's a fun event that we go to. One of our realtors has moved away, and she would always make us really great with little crab cakes. So we'll see about this year coming up. If we have somebody who is a really good chef.
We'll serve and clean up, but we're not great with cooking for the masses for anybody but really ourselves.
Our family.
My kids suffer through my cooking. I don't really want to subject anybody else to it. But yeah, Tracy is a realtor up somewhere, Baltimore.
Yeah, Baltimore, Maryland.
So she moved back up there, and but she was a great cook as well.
So 5 years. Here's to 5 more. We don't have our champagne, but we've got a Rabell cup and a K&R cup, which we'll talk about later. Cheers to you,
That's
Rebecca.
Right. 5 years, 3 companies now. So you have the Rabell Referral Group for people who are licensed but don't want to sell real estate. K&R Property Management. Hold on, I'm confused. There we go. K&R Property Management, which is a property management company, and Rabell Realty Group. So,
all right.
Good. Well, I know New Year's is coming up. We could talk about the idea of a word of the year. I think we did that one year. Have you done that? I know a lot of people do that.
Word of the year. We haven't done that, but I know it's a special word that you pick so that you can follow that word and keep it with you for the rest of the year. It's usually it's always a positive one.
Yes.
So,
I was
like
looking it up.
resilience or bravery.
I looked it up, and so we'll get into all the New Year's resolutions goals. I just thought this was an interesting idea. But basically, people look through this time of year and pick one word to represent themselves in what will be 2021. I don't know what I would pick for 2020. Resilience is probably a good one.
Oh, yeah, you pick it for the next year.
Like looking back, I'm going to say this is this year. But I saw one, I was like, oh, focused is good. And they had all these different types of words that they picked. And I know somebody had told me about this, I think it was last year, and her word was love. And, word of the year, gosh, what to pick for 2020. I don't know, Duffy, throw it out there, whatever you're thinking the word. I'm almost scared to pick a word of the year. If I had to pick the word I heard the most over 2020, I think it's going to be mask.
I think pivot is what I heard the most.
Pivot,
but we've all pivoted this year in 2020. So
if you own any kind of business, you pivot constantly.
Right, but that word was like the word of the year. It was like a catchphrase. You didn't use that much as a business owner or business person before, but 2020, that was the word for. I think that was the word for 2020. So
it probably was.
We'll pick out our word for 2021 and we'll share it with all.
If you have a word that you're doing anxious,
positive word, Jamie.
Positive, think positive. If you have a word out there that you're thinking is going to be you're into this, give us some tips on how to pick a word. Maybe we'll pick a word for the year of 2021, and it'll be focused on a goal, and we'll go from there. But I know when we come back from the break, we want to talk about New Year's resolutions. So get out there on the comments, put up what your New Year's resolution is, and we'll discuss that topic.
We'll talk about resolutions. All right, we'll see you after the break.
I was looking to join Rabell because I was at a large big box broker. I found myself a tiny fish in a big sea, so I set out looking to solve the problem of not feeling connected to my broker. I hadn't even met my broker. When I walked into Rabell Realty Group and the brokers were on site, there were agents in the office that were friendly and helpful, I knew I had found the solution to my problem. So what made me choose to work for Rabell Realty was really an encounter I'd had with Kristen early on in my career. I was showing a house and it was her listing, and she walked out and had her new baby strapped to her. Being a family girl and having a kid myself and wanting more, I knew I wanted something that was family friendly. And so that encounter that had happened early on in my career made me feel comfortable to know that wherever life took me, babies or no babies, I would have a place at Rabell Realty Group. I would recommend Rabell Realty Group to somebody else for the same reasons I found it. Synergy, heart, and hustle are our core values, and we really practice that here. The heart is here, I think, with everybody that works in this office. And the synergy, while we are not teams, so to speak, we work as one big team, and you just don't find that at other brokerages. I put my heart into everything I do, and Rabell does the same. You can tell with their branding, their marketing, the broker support of their agents. They're one of a kind.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the last Rabell Realty Group podcast of the year. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for coming on after the break. So we are talking about, end of the year and New Year's, the word of the year for next year, and resolutions. So what have you thought about during the break?
I like it. So we were talking last night about what we were going to talk about today. And I think it also, hindsight is 2020. Very nice, Susan.
Yeah, Susan's jokes. She's good.
She's got the jokes. Yeah, so this kind of started in my mind because I was talking to my daughter. We were making our shopping list for this week, and I told her, I was like, well, on whatever the first is, I think that's Friday, we're having pork, we're having collard greens, we're having black-eyed peas, we're having cornbread, and, sauerkraut, which is something that my grandmother thought was good luck.
Black-eyed peas, you said?
Black-eyed peas. You got to have all the foods. And Eva was like, I never make like black-eyed peas or that kind of stuff. And she's like, why are we having this? And I was like, well, we didn't do it last year, which I know.
You know what? I didn't eat my grapes or throw water out off the back of the shoulder.
Oh, yeah, I got to get grapes. I'm not a big grape eater either.
That's why this year was so bad.
Well, so we didn't do any of that stuff last year, and 2020 happened. So I told her, I was like, look, it's Mom's fault. The 2020 happened because I didn't make this meal that I've made every year since I was born or a child or my parents made it or whatever. I was like, so we're going to eat it so that we have, wealth and prosperity, health, happiness, all those things that go along with it. And she looked at me, and if you know Eva, she like deadpan, looks over at you and she goes, well, we need to make sure everybody in the world is eating this meal on Friday.
Can't control that.
And I was like, yes, I'll tell everybody I know. So if you're watching this, you need to get your shopping list ready and go get it. And you need to eat it on Friday. And don't forget your grapes.
Yes,
How many grapes? Is it 5 or there's like a specific number?
No, it's 13. I mean, every country's different, but it was 13 growing up. So
do what you have to do. And then what is it at the midnight on the 31st? We're all supposed to yell Jumanji?
Okay, let's do it.
I'm willing to do whatever it takes. So, but anyways, I thought that was funny. So New Year's resolutions. So we started talking about that. And I know you and I set goals.
We are terrible with resolutions because we don't feel like they're real. It's kind of like a diet. A diet is only like a short period of time that you're changing something, and that's kind of how resolutions are. Now, it's great to have resolutions, but you don't really get to keep them, or you don't really keep them. So it's really changing, having goals, and we talk about this all the time, and changing your mindset. So, it's what do you need to change in your life, on your daily schedule, in your mind for 2021 to have a prosperous year, or, that good, strong year where you grow. That's a great word right there, growth. But
growth.
Anyways,
I like it. All right, let me write that down.
So it's really about goals. So, and it's not like you can do short-term goals, but again, when you make goals, it's about making short, attainable goals that can lead you to a longer goal. So it's not just making one goal. It's about making a couple of different goals to get you to your end result, or at least plans and what you need to do, separately to get to the end goal, the end result. So, what are some goals that Rabell has?
So in terms of goals like Rabell has, I would say, I know we do want to grow. Mm-hmm. Man, way to put me on the spot. I'm like, I hadn't. Here I am over here looking at my computer thinking about all these things.
We're always looking to grow. Our goal is not to be like a huge company with 400 agents. We've been to coaching groups and everything, and everybody has 400 to 500 agents, and that's not really where we've ever placed ourselves. But we do have our office in Tampa that we'd love to have a couple more agents at. And then, we are in St. Augustine now and would love to, this year we just decided don't even focus on getting an office there. And I don't even think 2021 we really want an office there, but really grow the business and the closings there, the business over there, so that we can bring in some realtors, whether they're Gainesville based or St. Augustine based, and then go after a location. But in Gainesville, it's really about growing and bringing in agents who have a vision themselves. There are certain agents that people want to get into real estate and they don't really have a clue, and that's okay. We can help them have a clue. But there's a couple of things that we like with our agents, and one of them is, technology is huge in real estate. So if you don't have any technological skills, that's a really hard thing. It's really hard to get into real estate because everything is about apps and systems and programs. And so if you don't know how to talk to them or they talk back, you don't know how to work with them, that's really hard. So really, agents who understand technology. And that doesn't mean young agents. That can be older agents. It has nothing to do with age. It just has to do with comfortability with technology. And then people who aren't afraid of people. So usually when you're well connected, you're going to do a lot better. Or if you're not afraid of becoming well connected, that means getting out there. COVID really pulled back a lot of agents and made them fear. And I understand that. But again, the word pivot, when the best agents were able to pivot and change their careers to be cloud-based, Zoom or WhatsApp-based, really using video and live footage to build their business. And when you look at the agents who really used that and yes, they were very much aware of wearing masks and social distancing and taking care of each other and not being out and about all the time, but they still did well because they weren't afraid to pivot, use technology, and still connect to people. And then, what do you think the third trait that we've always had with agents? Good agents. To make yourself a good agent, these are some traits you have to have.
I think you have to care and really possess a love for what you're doing, because I interact with a lot of people that just seem to go through the motions or the steps to get through the transaction, but you could tell a difference between somebody that actually cares and somebody that's looking at you as their meal ticket. Sorry. But that we don't get paid till the deal closes. So you've all probably encountered people like that. I always, and I'm sorry, car salesmen, y'all have the worst rap. That's how I feel. When I walk on the lot, it is an uncomfortable feeling to me. So I always start it like this. I'm in sales. Do not use sales words on me or I will go somewhere else. I don't care if this is the best car ever. I will drive to a different dealership. Because as soon as they start saying the fair enough, that's a big sales word. So now that you'll know these, you'll hear people use them on you. So when somebody says fair enough, I immediately start feeling like they're trying to work me over. So, but I have had, and where I bought my car, I told the guy, I'm in sales, and he asked me all about what I did and asked me all the right questions. He started talking to me about real estate, which immediately made me like him. I'm like, oh, you're great. You're such a nice person. That while he was selling me, I wasn't I felt like he really cared because he asked me, what's important to you? What things do you need in this vehicle? And anyway, so questioning and asking, we always tell our realtors, and maybe I shouldn't tell this to the public, but questions equal control. So if you're the realtor and you're asking all the questions, you're, one, learning everything you can about this person that you're assisting, because oftentimes people will say, I need a 3-bedroom with an office, but what they really need is a 5-bedroom or a 3-bedroom with a mother-in-law suite, or people, we can't always, and I'm just as guilty of this, can't articulate what we're looking for because we're not sure what we're looking for. But if you're asking questions and really care about your customers, whether it's a $50,000 sale or a $1 million sale. I was out today and I was showing a property that was about $40,000, and I think 40 was pretty high up for the condition that it was in, considering it had no walls, no windows, no flooring, and I mean no subfloor, you could see straight to the dirt. So I thought that was a pretty generous price, but you still treat them with the same respect and care that you would somebody that was.
I think with
looking for
that
something
care
higher.
and that asking questions, really what it is listening.
There you
So when
go.
they do, and you have to ask questions to sort of find out really what they're saying, and that's where the questions come from. But also being patient. We hear a lot of people in sales or in general just very, they're not doing exactly what I want them to do immediately, and you've only worked with them 2 or 3 times, and you really have to sit back and listen and be patient because, right now there's not a lot on the market. So if they're not seeing something they want immediately, you probably do have to work with them a little bit longer than you would usually have to if there was even more on the market. Now, granted, if you're a really great salesperson, you're possibly able to, persuade them a little more to understand the current market and so that they're making solid, strong offers. Because right now, it's not about, making an offer starting $20,000 below list price.
No.
Right now, all of our agents, thank you, Robert. It's my Uncle Robert. He's awesome. But you're really having to go in very, very strong because there's so little inventory out there. So we're constantly talking with our buyers agents and our agents at the office to be patient with people, but also teach them, listen to them, and then teach them. Let them know what's going on. So many people, we also have a bad rap as realtors, just like car salesmen and lawyers. Realtors make so much money. They're commission based. We don't get paid until we close. So we are constantly working and constantly meeting with people and trying to find them their dream house or sell their dream house. And so, it's really educating them on the current market so that they can understand right now. So showing them numbers, but also, again, while you're showing them numbers and trying to teach them and trying to show them, sometimes they still want to be in control, and you allow them to take a little bit of control so they can learn, yes, it's not the I told you so syndrome, but, I can really trust my realtor because everything they told me is correct. So it's building that trust, but really it's the patience and the care, the diligence, and the listening or asking questions to understand them that gets you there.
I agree. I mean, one of my favorite questions, and we get this on our real estate huddle in the mornings a lot. How long do I need to show them? Why haven't they picked a house, or however you word it? And they're like, how long would you show somebody before you fire them? And I'm like, as long as it takes. I mean, you and I both have stories, multiple cases where we showed people homes for years, and it wasn't like I met them every day for years, but it would be, the most famous couple was the ones that they would only call us every now and then, and they would go and look at the house, and they would seem like they liked it, but there was something wrong. And we found out by listening that they had once seen a house that was a parade home, and that was the floor plan they were looking for. And once we figured that out, they bought that house as soon as it came on the market.
Yeah, we actually were able to stay with them and keep on with them. And one wanted, the beautiful garden outside, and one wanted the perfect house inside. But yes, once we figured out what they wanted, we were able to find it, and it was the exact house they loved. And we found it, and we got it for them.
And they still live there, and they love it, and they love the fruit tree that we got them. I accidentally got a text from her, and I was like, oh, hey, how are you? And she was like, great, we're eating oranges off the tree. So you just have to listen to people. But back to goals, I think it's important to set goals. They say it takes, 28 days to create a new habit. So I know if I have a new habit I'm trying to make, one thing I do, and my family loves this, I know, I'll label Post-its 1 through 28. And I'll stick them like on the doorway, usually like the doorway leading from the bedroom to the bathroom, because that way it's out of the house and nobody sees it. And so when a couple years ago, I really wanted to work out more regularly. Like I always had an excuse as to why I wouldn't go. So I covered the doorway, and I needed to get all 28, like within a month, basically, to fulfill this lifestyle change. And it worked, and it did. And so now I have like my own for different things, but I think it's important to set goals. I did look up like what are popular things that people try to set.
I'm sure it has to do with weight or health, which is always important. But again, when you're making those goals, setting those weight and health goals, it's not just I want to be healthier, or I want to eat less, or I want to lose weight. It's actually about creating a plan to do this, whether it's getting your own partner to partner with for working out, or a trainer, which I know is a little more money than just finding a partner, Sometimes it's joining like a running club. I mean, I know again with COVID, is that real? But it's still real out there.
They're still out there. I see them in the mornings in Tioga. There's a running club that meets.
Yep.
I mean, here's some that I thought, I mean, these were kind of cute. I thought, hug my children every single day. Do 20 push-ups in a row, drink a glass of water before every meal. I'm like, oh, these are little things that you don't think of as goals, but if you do little things like this every day, it's going to change how you feel and how your life works.
And those are all healthy habits.
Yeah, read the newspaper or, online, whatever.
Right.
So, all right.
Well, hopefully you all make some great goals or resolutions, however you want to use that word, or life changes, mindset changes. So we're going to get into the listing tip section. We're actually like breaking this up for a lot of listing tip sections, or one section, lots of tips. So really, it kind of has to do with like getting your house ready for sales, for selling. So we want you to call us. So we've got some great tips for you.
Yes.
So we'll start with the first one.
All right. Daily cleaning schedule. So I discovered this when I had my first child, Eva, and I had taken a break.
Really good
story. Well,
tip, maybe not story.
Okay, good tip.
I love that book you had.
Yes, I already forgot about it. So Kristen thinks it's funny because I've always had a book about my house. So it has things like what the paint colors are in each room, any manuals. It has any recipes. Yeah, I still print them out. I like paper. Anyways, it also has a cleaning schedule in there. And now my kids are having to take this over. And now that I've found it again, tell them to get ready, Jamie, because I know you're watching. And
what's great is like your daily morning schedule for cleaning and your night schedule. And this is really important when your house is on the market, when you're getting it ready. And I would say start doing it. If you know you're going to be listing or you think you're going to be selling in 2 or 3 months, start it beforehand so you get used to it. And it's not just about decluttering. Yes, we'll talk about that. But it's really getting into a habit of making your bed in the morning if you don't already, putting your dishes away in the morning, or maybe that's the nightly job. You make sure your dishwasher is filled up. So you have your dailies. So what are some dailies that are on there? Making the bed, I know is one of them.
Making your bed is number one. And that's something I make my kids, well, they're supposed to. I know they're on winter break right now, so they probably didn't. But usually they have to make their bed every morning. Pick up your dirty laundry, put it in the hamper. I'll get you, Jamie. I have to remake it. I have never made one for Tioga. Let's see, spray the shower with toilet cleaner. Spray the shower and toilet cleaner. So I did that. Like yesterday, I just, I got in the shower, and then when I got out, I sprayed it down really quick, and it was clean this morning. I love that type of stuff. Right. Loading your dishwasher, wiping your counters down, vacuuming or sweeping the floor. Now I have a little electronic robot, and when the kids remember to charge it, it works great.
And these are daily. You don't have to put too many on. Don't overwhelm yourself. That's, again, the thing about making goals. You don't want to overwhelm yourself with goals. Same with cleaning. So then you have a once-a-week schedule.
Yep, and it's things like mop your floor, scrub your bathroom, change your sheets, that sort of stuff. Your monthly stuff is...
You don't have to do all of these in 1 month. It could be like January, February, quarterly in a way, but they're monthly.
Well, one of the goals is to declutter one room every month, which I think will help keep you sane.
I mean, obviously, if you have children, you might need to do that.
So this says seasonally. So this one's a little different than the one that I used to use, but it says seasonally to shampoo your carpet. But what I like is, and I'll have to find the one, and if I can find it, I'll have them put it in the blog for you guys. But it was basically like daily, weekly, monthly. And the monthly, it had things like dust your blinds in your living room, and it had like checklists for every room, and I was able to keep up with the house and 2 kids and a full-time job and all that. So I got to get that back.
This is like the daily schedule we always talk about with our realtors. The best way to keep on track is having the perfect daily schedule. This is like the perfect schedule for, cleaning your house and having this a continuous schedule. And again, like having a book or something, where you can readily see it. This is what the kids have to do. I mean, you have kids.
The book also had things like, where is the safe located for the kids? I didn't have the combo in there, but it had things like that. And where are
literally a binder that you can find in her house and figure it out. Yeah,
great. So that if I died, I know that's so terrible, but I'm always worried
or
if I died,
was over and to know how to use the TV. Here are the directions.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, I need to do that. And here's the good news about these little cleaning lists. If you feel overwhelmed, I have found that children will do chores for screen time.
Yes.
And I just put like a little value. Most of them are like 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and they will add it up and they will get their screen time for the day or the week, depending on what chores. Some chores are worth more than others, but
So this was great. This is great for New Year's resolutions, your new cleaning schedule for your house for this year, but also to prepare yourself for getting your house on the market, because the daily schedule will be really great for you while your house is listed. And again, the preparations for it. But these are great, just cleaning preparations.
All right. So getting into the decluttering section, and this is something I'm working on at my house right now because I feel overwhelmed with stuff, which happens after every Christmas.
Happens all the time, right?
I just feel like there's too much stuff in the house. I always feel better after I take down the tree and stuff.
This past weekend we went through Mason's room. He's 9, and realized during the cold snap that we didn't really have a lot of warm clothes for him, because he doesn't like pants. He barely he likes shorts, but if he could, he'd just be in underwear all day, truthfully. But we're at a private school, so he has to wear those school clothes, uniforms. So we don't have a lot of extra clothes for him, because I don't like extra stuff. We realized we didn't have anything, so we went through and decluttered his room. 5 bags later, it felt so good. And the thing is, I'll drop those off with my mom, and she'll resell them. Or you can donate clothes, you can donate things. So. But it would be overwhelming if it was more than one room, because that was just his clothes.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't even like toys and everything. So I think this should be make a list of things to throw away by room or by section of room, because how many of you have like a clutter desk, or a clutter drawer? What is it called? The clutter drawer.
I used to, but Jamie keeps it organized.
Probably going through that once a year is not a bad thing. Some of these are monthly. And you really want to make a list of these. I think people can feel more sane, at least I can feel more sane, if you're not overwhelmed with things. And I know this culture is a very big culture of having things, having the next thing. What do you do with all of that? And I know that it's overwhelming when you keep it. So, but I don't think throwing away is the best answer either.
No, I donate. I had the baby, I don't know, however long ago, a year and a half ago. However old he is. We don't know. We can't keep track anymore.
Third time's a charm.
I know. Third time's a charm. And he's watching, so hi, baby. So I find people, somebody just told me they were pregnant, and I'm like, stop. You want a really nice stroller and swing and any other baby apparatus that I have? So I'm giving that to them. Otherwise, I would have probably thrown it up on Marketplace. But it's just a lot of hassle to me to coordinate with people to come pick stuff up. So if I can give it to somebody that could use it, I'm happy to do that. So I'm a big proponent of donating or selling it off. Or actually, if you have professional clothes and you're either a young man or a young woman, Grace Marketplace has a shop on site where the members of their campus can come in and get clothing for interviews, and it's set up like a store to make them feel, very special. They get a certain amount of dollars and all that, and can go in there and do that. So it's actually quite
neat. They price it very cheap so that the people at Grace Marketplace can afford it. But it's a really great thing to do for it's a homeless shelter that helps people. Helps the homeless become part of the community by getting jobs, and it helps them get out there. So giving away your professional clothes to them is really important for them.
Since we don't need it, we're all just doing pajama pants and stuff in 2021, I heard. Very good point, Duffy. I had seen that group on Facebook before, and I really wasn't sure what it was, to be honest.
Yeah, these are great. Actually, that's great, Duffy, because I could not remember that name of that company. Or Buy Nothing. Sweet.
Sorry, I'm writing that down. All right, so color staging.
So again, another listing tip. We were reading some staging blogs, and I have a friend, Eileen Craps, who is a local stager in town. So if you need a stager, staging is really great for definitely homes that have a unique floor plan. We've had a few of them staged, whether professionally or by ourselves, which are,
we're semi-professional.
We're semi-professional. We don't have any paperwork saying that, but we've been doing it for so long. But you'll walk into a room, or if you have a room and you're like, I really don't want to paint this room, and it's purple or pink. A lot of people will say, a lot of realtors will tell you to paint it. And yes, we do want to vanilla up the house, but at the same time, there's certain colors that there's certain things that people want to do with the homes when they go in. So what you can do is so color staging is not just using the walls, but also decor when you stage. So this is a purple bathroom, and the suggestion was if you have some, say, funky color that is abundance in a room, and not everyone's gonna love it. Like, I hate purple, my least favorite color. I know that's really weird, but I don't like purple. I probably wouldn't like this, but what they've done, oh, cute, little tin said mama, but what they've done is they've actually utilized a lot of white, so the white towels, the white plant in the background, so they brought in white to lighten up that and just make purple the only color. So all of those other items that people have in their bathrooms, you want to take those out, and if there's a color in the room, you dominate it by using only whites.
Basically, you're trying to neutralize it.
Exactly.
But they so said to call it like the lavender.
Well, here's the thing. They also, this realtor said, or the stager said, also name it a room. So when when it's being shown, or you're showing it, or maybe have it in the wording, the lilac spa is what they call this. And I thought it was a really great idea. So a lot of times with pink, it's like, oh, the Pepto-Bismol room. You really want to name it something positive,
right?
So the lilac spa was really cute. And
I would name it like the Himalayan. I don't know. I'm like Himalayan pink sea salt. I don't know. Right. I'll have to work on my word smithing.
Yes, but I thought the great thing I know, Susan.
That's why you guys are the perfect match.
Color, right?
You like purple. She hates purple. I love it.
It's not a color I pick. But the fact is neutralizing it with white, and then if you have a very white dull, the beiges and grays are getting they've been so popular, but they're kind of getting away from that. And if you have a room that's too much gray or too beige or tan, you could throw in those pop of colors, because everyone loves a splash of color. So you just utilize that with your staging. And you can do this with your own furniture. You don't need a professional to do this, although it's nice to have a professional. But really utilizing your furniture and your items to declutter things and focus on that one color by either neutralizing it with another or adding splashes of color. But don't add too much. Don't go with 50 different colors. Sort of stick with a hue and go with that.
Well, this is a service offered by us at Rabell Realty Group. We will come in and talk to you about what to do in your house.
There's one other amazing tip I heard this morning by my friend Eileen, the stager, and she said at your front door, like your foyer, the front wall, hang a mirror there. Mirrors are great because they bring in natural light and you can see yourself. But the reason why she said this is that the first thing that buyer sees in the house is themselves in your house, and the last thing they see is themselves in your house.
That's so smart.
I know. I was like, that is brilliant. I love it. So yeah, so mirrors anywhere help, but really at that front foyer or front section of your home, so that they see themselves, that hallway. If you don't have a front wall, the the foyer wall right there.
Super smart. I always do that. I like that. You've got a mirror, I've got a mirror. I've got a huge mirror that I haul with me from house to house.
But mirrors are really great in your houses especially when it's listed and people can see themselves, but it reflects light, and you want natural light, as much natural light in your house as you can. I don't know how many times I hear buyers say, I want a bright room. And so, there's some ways to do that, whether it's lightening again, neutralizing the darker colors with a lot of white, or repainting with a lighter color. Just don't bring too many darks in. Pushing back your shutters, the plantation shutters, they call them. Mm-hmm. I find that they're beautiful, but they block a lot of light. So your curtains, pulling your curtains back and making sure you're showcasing the natural light that comes in. So yeah.
Very good. All right, K&R Property Management.
Did you know that we are property managers also? I don't think everybody knows, right?
Yes.
But it is owned by K&R Property Management.
Yes. And the email is actually rent@knrpm.com. Yep, so you can message me and let me know if you have a property for us to rent. So we'll get that updated for you. But yes, we have a property management company. It's been around for several years. We're collecting more and more doors as we get going, or units, as people might call them. So if you have an investment property and you're thinking about having it managed, or you have multiple investment properties and you'd like to talk about that, or if you're looking to buy investment properties, we can assist you with that as well. So just let us know, give us a call, give us an email, however you want to contact us. We're here for you. Text is also great. So Happy New Year.
I want to wish you a Happy New Year. 2020 is finally coming to an end, and we'll be back the first Monday of January 2021, which I think is the 4th.
Yes.
So we'll see you then. But again, remind you.
You can find us on our blog at buysellrebel.com/blog. We would love to see you there. You can get on and check out anything from past shows or tips on buying in Gainesville or selling in Gainesville and all that.
And if you want to become a realtor and learn more about real estate, you can join our team. Why don't you email us at join@buysellrebel.com, and we'll hit you up with some information and help you join us.
All right, you can connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or email, or probably any other outlet you could think of. We're probably on there in some degree, but definitely check out the TikTok page. I've seen a lot of new little videos coming out about buying and selling and just realtor life in general. So check us out and have some fun.
And we want to thank the Fiesta Media, who is the podcast producer of the show. You can call them at 352-327-5089. And if you'd like to start your own podcast, that's a good number to call. Thank you, Fiesta Media.
Thank you. We'll see ya.
We'll see you next year.